York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
Here we go again. What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick Of Time Show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time, and it's time to talk about a Knicks win, a much needed Knicks win after the sad news we gotten today from Julius Randle and his shoulder. But the Knicks beat the Kings 120-109. Dante DiVincenzo gives you 21 points and 5 rebounds. Josh Hart gives you 31 points and 8 assists. Shout out to Josh Hart. We have Hartenstein give you 7 points in the career high, 9 assists. Bojan, there was a Bojan sighting today who's looking mighty comfortable, who gives you 12 points. Miles McBride, or Deuce as you like to call him, gives you 12 points, 3 assists and 4 rebounds. And our fearless leader, Jalen Brunson, gives you 35 points and 11 assists. The Knicks did their thing and gave you 26 points off of turnovers and gave you 19 fast break points to the Kings 9. They dominated points in the paint. It was 60 points in the paint and passed that rock and gave you 34 assists on the night. And we did our thing, guys, and we needed it. We needed that boost. We were losing 3 in a row, and this fourth game came and we needed all the energy that we had to gather, and we got it today, and we came away with the win. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's get to it. First and foremost, I'm going to introduce you to my guy. This is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Brian G's in the building. Big win for the Knicks. I ain't going to go through all that again. If y'all ain't seen it the first time around, y'all missed it, but big win for the Knicks. Let's go.
Big win for the Knicks. We need it. We got that. We got that dub, man. We got that dub. And of course, you already know it's the Latin assassin, Lee Escobedo. What's good, my guy?
Going to try this one more time, y'all. I want to know about the 2009, when the last time the Knicks had a star point guard on a team, a man by the name of Stephon Marbury. In the middle of a night for a Knicks game, it was summertime. He uploaded a random 2-minute video that showed him shirtless, sitting on a bed in front of his computer. Kurt Franklin's Lean on Me was playing in the background, and he held a container of Vaseline, and then he went off and said the following: "So I have a sore throat, and my man Hassan, he told me that his grandmother, who's almost 100 years old, told him that we can't get your voice bad. You take some Vaseline, swallow it, and it'll help you. She's from the old school." As he finishes this monologue, he scoops out a big chunk of Vaseline on his index finger and puts it in his mouth. Later that season, after another string of weird videos, he'd be waived by the Knicks before signing with the Boston Celtics. 14 years later tonight, Marbury returned to the Garden as a prodigal son, sitting front row as a guest at Worldwide West, the executive who a couple years ago he called Worldwide Sucker. It was very beautiful. It was very beautiful to see my main man, Stephon Marbury, someone who has openly struggled with mental illness, someone who was destined for greatness, come from a family of ballers, be able to reclaim himself and come back into the Garden and had a rousing ovation, standing ovation by the New York faithful. It was beautiful to see him back in there. It was great to see the legend in MSG for a win.
Yes, man. Shout out to Stephon Marbury, man. Brooklyn kid from Coney Island. He sold those cheap sneakers, but for the people though. It was for the people. He was making a point. But shout out to Stephon Marbury and the Starberries and all the humanitarian work he did. And he was here to witness this win. And we got that win. All right.
Talk about it.
And of course, you already know it is our girl XD1 Baller, Ebony, Mad Knicks fan. What's up?
Good. I'm good. I'm just there. I'm excited. I'm proud of my Knicks. We just got some unsettling news today. Sad. I get everybody's entitled to how they feel and your reactions, but please don't doomsday parties. I think our New York Knicks today were talking to the media and our fan base. Like, we still here. We are still here. Collectively, we have enough. It's the next man up mentality, and if we can do it as a team, you see the results. You let it be over for first, people, before we start throwing them. Where my white flag at? before we out here, we doing this. We can't be waving the white flag, all right? No waving of the white flags. Let these players play because it's disrespectful to say it's over while they're giving us their all. And I this team is showing what Nova mentality is about too. Where they don't quit, constant effort, constant fight. No, that no matter what, they're not going down without a fight. They're not giving up. You could be down 20, they're going to try, and that's all you can ask as a fan of a team. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about this one. There's a lot of good to talk about, especially coming off this skid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh, and I was done.
Although Lee wanted to say something.
Oh no. I was just agreeing with enthusiasm.
Got you. Yeah, man. Listen, we here. This next man up mentality. If anything showed you, if this win doesn't show you anything else, it is just that. It is next man up mentality. These guys are going to fight. Josh Hart was questionable tonight with a sprained wrist, and he decided to show out tonight. And I'm looking through the chat. Do I see Sandman in the chat? I don't think I've seen Sandman, you've been here for the 2 to 3 game winning streak. You was not here talking about Josh Hart for the 6 triple doubles he had. You was not here shooting in the gym when we was on that 15-2 run. Where are you now, Sandman? Are you asleep, Sandman? Wake up.
Mr. Sandman.
Shout out to Sandman, who's probably not here. But I'm starting. There's a lot to talk about, but I want to start off with Josh Hart and even Tibbs too, because Tibbs did a thing where they were blitzing Jalen Brunson all night, and of course the question always is, when the ball is not in Jalen Brunson's hands, where are you getting the points from? And the way Tibbs has kind of manufactured his team, he's made it so he can accentuate certain people's strengths. Something that we complained about for a very long time. So it's like, you know what? We're going to accentuate Josh Hart's strength. If they are going to blitz Jalen Brunson every single play, we're going to just use Josh Hart as a screener so he can receive the ball and get a running head start down the middle of the paint and have him make decisions from there. He doesn't have to be a spot up shooter where you can take advantage of his weaknesses. He can make plays. He can finish at the rim because you already know when he gets ahead of steam, he's hard to stop going downhill. And that's exactly what Josh Hart did today for 31 points and 8 assists. How many rebounds? He had almost another triple double today. And and the defense. And of course the defense of Josh Hart too, because there was a part in that third quarter where we were actually down. Jalen Brunson, he cut into the lead in the second half. I think we were down, 8 in the second half from a last minute incredible 3 from Jalen Brunson. And then the Knicks went down. It was looking bleak. I think it was like around 13 or 14. All of a sudden, the defense picked up. Josh Hart was everywhere. And every time he got a rebound, it was like a one-man fast break. So I have to give the game ball to me. One of the game balls to me goes to Josh Hart. So bust those shots for Josh Hart. Love this game. Love this game. This is why we traded for you, man. The energy god right here. What you...
Facts. If I may say about Josh Hart, I had mentioned it to myself while I was watching the game. He had a different look about him today. It was no all business. It wasn't much complaining either. Even when he was about to start, he just went back down the court. It was a different look for him. His aggressiveness today, and we had spoke about that last pod. I had said that maybe he was in his head. He was hesitating. There was no hesitation today. It was straight full steam ahead. And he, of course, Josh Hart fashion, he does other things. He just fills the stat sheet. So he gives you other things that can help us in the long run, which is why all his eggs are not in one basket. He can help you in so many different ways. So the slander sometimes is like, just wait, be patient. Believe me, his type of play feels 10 times more impactful in situations like today when you need in the playoffs. Those type of players, they show out their intensity and adrenaline carries through those kind of situations, if you want to say. And you had mentioned Brunson. Another thing we had mentioned last pod was that I felt that Brunson didn't trust his teammates as much as he has been
Yes.
before, and
Yes.
that he was playing hero ball. There was none of that today. Like,
Nope.
so the adjustments from everybody today was great to see. He trusted his teammate. He didn't hold on to that ball for very long at all today.
Yep.
As soon as he seen the double team, it was either he hit Josh Hart to go do what he does, or he even gave got Miles McBride a wide open 3-pointer at the top of the key because they did the blitz. And shout out to Tibbs for that adjustment, knowing that they're trying to blitz Jalen Brunson and that he was trusting his teammates. He used guard to guard screens.
Mm-hmm.
He did it with McBride. He did it with Josh Hart. He did it with Dante. They did this little guard to guard screen so much so that Sacramento actually stopped doubling him.
You know what it
And
reminded me of, Ebony? It reminded me of when James Harden and I think Niang did the guard screen last year, and they kept killing us from three with that same screen. It reminded me of that with him and the Deuce McBride three. I'm like, wow, it's like we have shooters to do something like that now. It's kind of crazy how we have that. So like if we play our cards right, we can really do some damage. We just have to play around with the pieces we have. So I really commend Tibbs for varying the offense when Julius Randle went down and finding other ways to utilize Jalen Brunson and just utilize the rest of the team.
Yeah. And then Sacramento stopped doubling Brunson because of Josh Hart, and the rest of the team contributed so much. For a little while, they tried. And I know there's questions because of Randle, and people felt down and felt like our chances may not be the same, but we've been an underdog the whole season and nothing changed with this injury. We're still an underdog. So what I will say is that if we play like this and play like a team, we have a chance against anybody because you could get collective from just about everybody. And it was fun to watch today, definitely that second half, and watching how they played as a team and everybody contribute.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, and I think that the adjustments, it was a perfect timing too, because Sacramento is no Miami. A Trey Lyles and De'Aaron Fox blitz, doesn't have the same effect as Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo running out you, or even Caleb Martin. So it was a great team to adjust the offense for, because Sacramento is pretty bad defensively. And I love that the things that we were trying out it's a precursor for the playoffs. Now that Randle has been completely eliminated, come back, the entire offense can change, because you're not going to have that 7 to 8 seconds of dead ball when he's backing in and doing an isolation play. We're going to require more off-ball movement and motion and more passing in order to take full advantage of the roster we have now, without Randle's 21 to 22 points a game. I can't remember how much he was averaging. So I think that's a benefit. Like, I'm glad that we have a sample size now to get adjusted to this new way of thinking. And when OG comes back, he's just going to slot right in as that corner shooter and be able to give you a little bit of a bag in the mid range too. So I was excited. I thought the offense looked really clean tonight, not just from Josh Hart, but Isaiah Hartenstein too, who was passed ass off in the high and low post. And him as a stringer, he's bad. He's a really good dribble handoff passer. Not as good as Sabonis, but it was great watching those two go head to head today as two very skilled high passing bigs with a high IQ.
Yeah, and I just want to throw in something about Josh Hart right quick too. I mean, Jail is pretty much said what I was going to say, because what I did want to point out was the fact that, because what teams usually do when they trap Brunson is they see Josh Hart on the court, and what they'll do is they'll bring over the defender from Josh Hart to try to double Brunson and try to get the ball out of his hands that way. But the adjustment that they made is that now when Brunson is double, Brunson lets the ball go early to Josh Hart, then Josh Hart has an advantage. It's going to be 4-on-3. And then from there, it's like, okay, because Josh Hart is such an exceptional finisher at the rim, if he's going downhill towards the rim and you bring nobody to stop the ball, then Josh Hart can easily get the layup at the rim because he's such an exceptional finisher. Or if you do decide to stop the ball and bring help, not only are you helping from either corner where you have McBride or DiVincenzo, it's like you stop and you stop the ball, and Josh Hart just making a simple pass to either corner, and it's an open three. So it's like, yeah, maybe in the past with the Knicks, when the Knicks didn't have the shooting like that, you could afford to double off of Josh Hart and disrupt the offense that way. But what now what the Knicks are doing is that, like JL said, they're playing to Josh Hart's strengths. They give him to Josh Hart in areas of space where he's able to move with the ball, go downhill, and make a decision. And it's really pick your poison. Like, do you want Josh Hart finishing at the rim? Or do you want him passing the ball off to one of the corners, to one of the open three-point shooters to knock in the shots? So, that adjustment is, I think, one of those adjustments where it's like in the playoffs that could definitely go to Knicks' advantage, because it's like, do you really want to double off of Josh Hart anymore, knowing that he's now transformed himself into a facilitator, where it's like, okay, if you're going to double off of Josh Hart, now Josh Hart has a 4-3 advantage, and it's pretty much pick your poison. What are you going to do? So that adjustment is definitely major. But yeah, Josh Hart had a huge game tonight, 31, 8, 9. He's definitely showing, like, ever since the injury with Julius Randle, he's definitely stepped up and shown his value to the team. And yeah, going into the playoffs, his play from that position with Julius Randle out is going to be major.
Yeah. And the passing in general between Josh Hart, who give you 8 assists, and Hartenstein, man. Hartenstein had a career high 9 assists. I almost feel like it's weird that it took so long to get this, because I feel like he's such a good passer. As much as we've been using him lately, I really think we should lean into it even more, because as of today, Jalen Brunson has the highest usage in the NBA, and I compared Hartenstein to Draymond Green a couple of games ago, and today was like one of those Draymond Greenish like games where he's giving you the dribble hands off, picking somebody and giving it to somebody else with a 3 for pull up, or just giving it to Jalen Brunson in the perfect spot as he's running off ball, so he can give him like a little short jump shot on the side. Like, he's really been facilitating from that foul line area. And I think if you want to preserve Brunson even more while he's on the floor, and you want to give him some more plays off, maybe we can lean into more Hartenstein plays. Like, hey man, you had Joakim Noah. You had Joakim Noah back in the day when Derrick Rose is injured. You tapped into that. Julius Randle's injured now. Maybe we should tap into some Hartenstein and use some like Golden State use Draymond Green. Because if you're looking at Golden State Warriors, they get away with not having that traditional big man by using Draymond Green as a playmaker. We can absolutely do the same, and it's kind of working for the Sacramento Kings as well. We can do that, but even better, because we have better defenders. So I think it can work. I think Tiz, man, you're doing a great job. I think that's something you need to look into, for real.
Yeah. I just want to say something about the iHeart. Yeah, iHeart was another reason Sacramento doubling and blitzing Brunson didn't work or be as effective as it maybe was in the first half. And OKC, I kind of mentioned, and I thought that we went away from iHeart and what he was doing in that game. He had brung us back and kept us in the game with his playmaking and hitting people on some good passes. Today he had back-to-back assists on our run on a trying to in a run during the game for the Knicks. It was one, he did that backdoor cut to Josh Hart, and then it was then right after it was to Deuce 3, a wide open to give to Deuce the 3, and in both instances he was in the middle of the court because of them blitzing Jalen Brunson. And I thought that was key. I thought we made a lot of key changes from that first round, because the first half our offense was a little stagnant at times, and we played Tibbs and his flowers. I'll give him his flowers. I noticed Tibbs played a lineup of Miles, because Miles McBride, Deuce. He played Deuce. He played Mitch, Precious, Josh Hart, and Bogey, and it was clunky.
Yeah,
because they needed another shooter. It was spacing was off. You needed another shooter. Second half, instead of Precious, it was Dante DiVincenzo, and it looked a lot different when that unit was up there. So we did make a lot of adjustments, but just on iHeart, I love the way that he also is another playmaker, and either there's a hockey assist, but it's quick decisions with him. The ball doesn't stick. He makes this decisions quickly, and it helps the offense move. I thought if I can real quick, I could just tell y'all what the key adjustments I thought we did today, because I felt that we adjusted immaculate from the first half to the second half.
Go ahead.
One, I felt that I saw that the Kings were playing so aggressive, and I kept saying, "Why are we forcing the three? Go back door, go back door." They playing y'all so aggressive. Use their aggressiveness against them, and we did that. We wound up doing that. You seen Deuce go back door. You seen Josh go back door. You see Dante go back door, and then in doing that, now you make the defense honest, and now you can get your shot, which you saw with Dante. You saw with others. Deuce got back into the game with his 3-point shooting eventually. Also, the Kings were playing great defense. We didn't go against unset deep. We pushed them so they couldn't set their defense.
Yep.
And we was able to get Dante open shots in those transitions and get others open shots where we didn't have to depend on our half court and Brunson being blitzed and making decisions kind of thing. We also we added more screens on the off-ball screen. To start our run, Dante, I think, got a wide open 3-pointer off a screen on the weak side, on the opposite side of the court. So we added more wrinkles into our offense just to help us a little bit more and get settled shots and not rush shots like they were making us take. And the guard screen, definitely. Guard screen. And one thing I did notice today was Dante creating his own shot. Dante getting his own shot. That 3 off the dribble.
Yeah, that was a big shot.
Yes.
That was a big shot.
I think it tied the game or something like that. So we made the adjustments. Also blitzing them, not leaving people on the island.
Yep.
Brunson did like this late surprise double every once in a while and got a couple steals and deflections off of that. Same thing with Dante and Josh. Dante and Josh, they did the same thing. So those are just little and we got stops consistently, so we were able to, set our defense. And we got stops, so we were able to push. So just stuff like that. We stopped everybody from going off. I was a little scared with the facilitating of Fox and Sabonis. They were able to get the Keon Ellis a couple shots. And that's another thing. We weren't playing smart defensively that first half. And we changed that. We kept going under the screen for somebody shooting 39% from 3. You can't do that, and I felt we made those adjustments as well. So yeah, shouts out to Tibbs and his adjustments, and the New York Knicks, period. From half to half, game to game, you see that they're learning from their mistakes. That's just what I saw. That's all.
I agree. It's funny because you know what I have written down in my notes, Ebony? 2 second units. That's what I have written down. 2 second units. Because I noticed that too. And this is the second game that Tibbs had Dante leading the second unit in the second half. I think he's noticing how much the second unit has been struggling to score, and he's gone away from Alec Burks. He's a new substitution pattern now. He'll have Alec Burks come in the first half and play his minutes, and depending how those minutes go, he'll give him extended minutes. Like Deuce was kind of struggling a little bit to guard De'Aaron Fox. So I think he went a little bit more Alec Burks in that first half. But that second half, Dante was the point guard again. And he just subbed out Brunson for Burks and had Bojan there. And it worked. So I think we're going from now moving forward, we're going to see more Dante, Deuce McBride kind of leading that guard attack. And it's going to be more Dante being the point guard and Deuce being the off guard. So I would definitely look out for that. And also did notice the way we guarded Fox was differently as well. We started to blitz Fox a lot more in that second half instead of letting Deuce just be on the island getting cooked. Because man, he was having a rough time. And that was one of those times it's like, man, OG would be great right here. Because I remember Fox wasn't going off like this game, the first game. But that's because OG was in the game shutting that down. Like he was, and Deuce did all he could, and he went 0 for 7 in the first half and shot well in the second half. But those Fox minutes, man, it was rough, and I don't blame him because Fox is a beast. So I'm by no means blaming Deuce.
Yeah, and quick fast, sorry. And with the Mitch impact, we saw that they was kind of skeptical to leave him. It was a couple times Sabonis did not want to leave him in fear of offensive rebound, and it got others some shots. He got JB able to get a floater because they don't know whether to come and play the lob. Even if we don't throw it that much, it's still a threat. The
Right.
lob or come off and allow Mitch to get an easy layup off the offensive rebound or whatever. So I noticed that too couple times while Mitch was in there, especially with Brunson. It happened a couple times with Bogey where he was able to get Bogey good looks because they didn't want to really leave him down there. So they allow that hesitation allowed Bogey a good look in the mid range area. He had some good minutes. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. We
How Mitch
played
can
good as a
provide
team.
spacing. Go ahead, Lee.
I thought the defense on from Isaiah Hartenstein on Sabonis was really good too. He took away his strong hand, took away the left side and forced him right where he's uncomfortable, and that really disrupted the type of offensive pattern they have for those dribble handoffs and those fine cutters under the basket and fine shooters too. It limited his overall impact offensively because really he's more on ball than De'Aaron Fox is when they're setting straight plays, more so than going in transition. So great defense from Isaiah Hartenstein, shutting down one of the most talented offensive bigs in the NBA. Someone who's been dropping regular triple doubles and doing some insane statistical accomplishments game to game. Yeah, I gotta give him his flowers. The only thing I was frustrated about this game is, again, everyone's looking off Mitch when he's in the same position as Isaiah Hartenstein in the high post. When Hartenstein was open and he had either his man sealed or his man was helping out elsewhere, they would give it to Ihart, and Ihart would then either make a secondary pass or he would go to the hoop. But I saw Mitch in that same position multiple times, and Brunson and McBride and Burts, they all looked off of him when he just could. And that simple, he showed it to us. He now has a little bit of a handle, one dribble, and he's at the basket because of his length and size. And I don't know why they consistently look off him like that. Maybe they know what he's doing in practice, that he's not in game shape yet, and it might lead to a turnover or a block. But let's at least see a little bit of that so he can get more comfortable out there offensively. Let's utilize him.
Yeah, I think it's a trust thing. Like, I think they have to see it more, and if they see it more, they'll give him the ball more in those positions so he can do that. But like, I know we've seen it a few times. I'm like, man, I've been saying this for years, right, Ryan? Like, you remember me saying for a while, I'm like, I don't know about a Mitch jump shot, but I do feel like he can at least bare minimum give you a straight line drive to the basket. And that first game back, that's exactly what he did. So I believe he has that in his game. Like all the hang time dribbling for 24 seconds. Like Mitch has enough handle to do 2 or 3 dribbles and go to the basket. So,
I think it looks different in a couple games, y'all. Sorry, Lee.
I'll just say it's Sabonis. You're not going up against a Clint Capella or a real strong rim protector and Rudy Gobert or Wembanyama. It's Sabonis.
Yeah.
If there's ever a time that you're going to have, even if you're hobbled and getting back into shape, you're going to have a step. It's when he has to rotate from the corner to come help. You got him. Like, that's a guaranteed 2 points, or you're going to the free throw line. At least you hit one.
Yeah, and even before the injury as well. Like I do remember a couple plays before he got injured earlier this season where he beat his man off the dribble and drove to the basket and dunked the ball a few times. Like I forgot which game it was, but like he was literally like at the 3-point line, beat his man, dribbled all the way to the basket and dunked it. So you know it's in Mitchell Robinson's game. It's just a matter of his teammates finding him in those positions and giving him the ball so he's able to do that and actually create off the dribble.
Facts.
I agree. But we just need Mitch to get his legs, work on those free throws, and keep it going, man. Keep it going. I think if your legs are there, we can at least rely on you to get those lobs. It seemed like Tibbs actually called a play out for Mitch out of a timeout. He didn't complete it, but Josh Hart went to the hole and kind of threw up a ball for Mitch lob. But I think the more and more he gets to play, the more and more we'll start to see Mitch lobs, because it seems like they're kind of concentrating on that since he's been back. More so, like they didn't do it in the beginning of the season, but right now it seems like they're trying to get him some more lob plays, because I've seen him get like 3 or 4 lobs when he first came back. So that's something to look forward to when it comes to Mitch and the offense. And what else I have to look forward to is, don't look now, Bojan
Uh-oh.
Bojan. They might have to take the bum off his name soon. I don't know. This is
I
two
don't
games
know.
in a
Man.
row.
2 games in a row. Let's not speak
Yeah,
too
it's still
soon,
too
but I
early.
hope so.
It's still too early.
We might have
Too
to get the
early, but
apology
I
papers
want to
back.
say that.
We might have to take it out the apology paper out the trash.
I want to sign an apology letter. I want to sign that
Me too.
ASAP. I would love to sign an apology letter because that just means that it helps us,
That's a fact.
If Bogey and Burks hit their shots, or Bogey, just one of them plays really consistent, that will help us. With that type of scoring power available, it will definitely help us, and then get some attention and help in that bench squad.
I need this to happen so that it's not my biggest L of the season in terms of in terms of worst takes. I really need my man. But I'm going to start calling you Bogdanovic, sir. I need you to continue being hot from the perimeter. He has, man, I got a lot to say about this, and I have some hot takes. All right, Burks cooked. I think there's enough of a sample size over the last 2 or 3 seasons that fans watching to say he's probably like an average player. Sometimes he plays really, really bad. Bojan is not an average player. Offensively, he's super good, in my opinion. He's been 3 levels since Indiana. Now, defensively, he's just as bad defensively as he is good offensively. But as a sniper, as an off-the-dribble scorer, he can cook. And when he starts getting a rhythm, he can win you a game on his own, a la J.R. Smith. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes with Utah. If he can give us his average as a playoff performer, give me that 38% from 3. And don't even have to give me 18. Give me 14. That plus Precious, that rotation at the 4. We can make the finals, y'all. I'm not saying championship. We can't win a championship without Julius Randle. We cannot.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, Lee. It's always a shot. It's always a shot. You got to remember. Oh, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll tell you why.
I understand that, and I love Julius Randle. I probably love him more than anyone else in the show, and I do him as respect and say that he is so important to this team. I don't think we can win a championship without him. Could I be wrong? God, I hope so. Just give me a championship. I don't care how it happens.
That's a fact.
That being said, I think Bojan and Precious, that the combination cannot make up for it, but can get fairly close. It gives you a nice combination of diverse skill sets at that position that I think complement Bojan and Mitch and Hart and Precious. I like those combinations, and I want to the players. Just give me 60% of what you usually give me in the playoffs. Well, we got a chance at the finals.
I'll say this, though, and I don't know if I'm tripping or not, because I have to see the next few games to really see if this is a trend. But the fact that we're going towards the end of the season right now, there's a few games left in the season, and in the last couple of games, Bojan has finally started to get a little bit of rhythm.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if he's finally finding his he's finally finding his way in the offense at the moment, to the point where it's like we might get these consistent performances in the playoffs because he's warming up at the right time. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not fully on board with that yet. Like I said, I gotta see more games going into the playoffs, seeing if it's going to continue. But I'm praying that's the case, because if he's finally finding his way in the offense now, as we're going into the playoffs, and it continues, that's going to be some well-needed points in the playoffs for the Knicks if he can somehow find his form going into the playoffs.
You know what? Here, I'm starting to get a little bit hopeful for a few reasons. One, I still feel like we got to separate Bojan and Burks. We have to.
Yes.
It seems like every time we separate them, or at least not even every time, but most of the times, we at least get a little bit more out of Bojan when those two are separated. 2, this game, I feel like there was more movement with Bojan in this game than any other Knicks game that he's played so far. And when I saw this game, my brain went to that stat that we saw on Twitter where it said Bojan shot 72% on movement threes. And he's just one of those guys that just plays really well off of movement. That's how he gets his rhythm. I think we were trying to make him too much of a playmaker before and just have him do these little kind of dribble handoff curl plays and and be a facilitator. No, have Dante be a facilitator. You just kind of move and shake. And I feel like that when he's head faking off the three and then pulling up at the mid range, he seems like to have that down packed. Or pulling off the and get warmed up that way, then shooting threes. I feel like he's had that down packed. So I think we're starting to figure out how to play with him, and who to play him with.
Mhm.
And I think it's giving me a little bit more hope that we can figure out how to use him. Now, the only thing I am worried about is I love Precious. I love Mitch. It works sometimes, both of them together, but then he's Precious Miss Josh. It's a little bit too much clunkiness, like like Ebony said before. It's just we gotta like that, find that right combination. Defensively, of course. Offensively, you get in a situation where it's way too crowded and it gets a little clunky still. So I feel like there is a pathway. We still have to kind of tinker with the rotations a little bit, but I think there could be something here.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll make it very quick. My biggest fear right now is that Bojan can't close with the current roster we have. We don't have the personnel that could cover for him defensively.
Yeah.
So it makes it difficult. You have to do like chess moves, in and out substitution patterns based on when you have possession or not. But when OG's back and Mitch is back into playing shape, then he can close next to those two. And you don't give up spacing. You don't give up size. You don't give up clogging the lane. You have the rebounding. You got everything. And then he can be covered the same way we cover for Julius Randle when he takes plays off.
So what you saying? You saying like a Brunson, Dante, Bojan,
OG, Hart, or Mitch. That can close.
Yeah, that can work.
That's true. It's funny. I can see that. But to be honest with you, I felt so comfortable with McBride closing. Like I don't even bat an eye with McBride closing now either. But I do understand now this is the playoffs. So when it's the playoffs, the guy who has more playoff experience, I guess, probably would be ideal to close with. But I've been really, even that three McBride missed the other day with the game on the line when Brunson passed it to him. I felt really comfortable with McBride shooting that shot even though he missed it. So.
I did too.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say something real quick about this Bogey and Burks. Yeah, I don't think they should play together. And I think if Mitch, or like you mentioned, if we get OG, but I'm gonna focus on who's here right now. If you have Mitch in game shape, you can do that small ball lineup more so, because then you have him in the back and you can mix and match with Bogey and Josh and Dante. I like that lineup, and McBride. I did like what it gave. And even today's Bogey's defensive effort was there. It was better. The last couple of games, his effort on defense has been better. Granted, he's never gonna be all defense. I get that, but he's there. He's trying to be in passing lanes, trying to double. It's better. It's better right now. And I think on offense, him and Mitch, what Mitch gives him is able to a lane instead of being rushed and pressured, and maybe he gives him more time to get good shots, good looks, and things of that nature. I saw a little small sample size today. So yeah, I hope this continues. I'll be gladly to sign an apology for him because we need him. We need him in a major way just to help with spacing and help carry some of this low no diddy that for Brunson.
Yo, hear Ebony say no diddy is funny as hell. I don't know why it's funny when Ebony says it.
But yeah, facts. But I wanted to talk. I've been slacking on the prompts because I was just so excited about my team, but about Brunson and he just slicing and dicing, slicing and dicing.
Is it Excalibur?
He on his Zelda slicing and dicing.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was Excalibur or something.
It's the Lynx sword. It's Lynx from Zelda.
I thought it was He-Man no. I thought it was a Thundercats. That's what I thought it was.
because guaranteed we got again. That's what I meant. I forgot to say this earlier. My mom be a mile a minute, but with Randle going down, everybody is down, and I understand it. But we've been screaming MVP all season. MVP. MVP. So believe in that man and continue screaming MVP, MVP. And I tell you why. Because Brunson, what he does is he takes people's confidence. He takes your soul. Because the moment that you relax, he makes you pay for it every time. And when you don't relax, he's still making you pay for it. You know how they say good defense, better offense.
Mm-hmm.
That is Brunson a lot of times. And again, it doesn't matter the size or the pedigree of defender. You see, when it comes to getting to the game, he's going to figure you out. He will figure you out. Now, the other part that it seems like he's figuring out is getting everybody else involved.
That pocket pass, Ebony.
Yes,
What?
yes. So
Unbelievable.
he did that was beautiful. That was definitely beautiful. So like he's figuring that part out. He's trusting, and I guess he's watching film, because you can tell from last game where he may have held the ball a little longer than he should have, to this game where it was on a string.
Mm-hmm.
Constant trust in his teammates. He is learning. It takes the Sacramento doubled this man, and then the other he made them pay with his decision making, still making them pay. He made them pay with his decision making. Got the Josh Hart aggressive. Dante did his thing. McBride chipped in. Whatever. Sacramento says, okay, let's not double him. As soon as they do that, what did he do? I think he scored 5
Cooked
straight points.
him.
Got the 3-point, the long range 3-point, and then the bank shot right after. Soon Sacramento's like, all right, we wilding. Doubled again. As soon as he did that, what did he do? I think it was a pass to Josh Hart, and he gets a bucket. So again, we missing a dog. We're missing a dog in Julius Randle, but we have a superstar. We have somebody who when you think about teams that let off of one person, you think of the Dirk. You think of, and it has supporting cast though. You think of Dirk, and you think of Jason Terry shooting 40%. That helped him. You get what I'm saying? You see the run that Jimmy Butler just did. You think of the run that Giannis had. Yes, he
Yep.
had Chris Middleton and
Yep.
supporting cast, but again, we have supporting cast members. But
Yo.
as long as it's built around a selfless star, and that's what we have. Brunson is a selfless, light performs the lights bright. It's like one of my favorite players now. Seriously, that dead serious.
Yo, you know what's crazy? First of all, the pocket pass is ridiculous. He had this one pass where it was like an underhanded bowling ball pass to the Hart today. The Hart passed it to Josh Hart. I was like, oh my God, it was beautiful. 34 assists tonight. But you know what's funny? I came away after that Miami loss thinking about last year's playoffs and thinking about how we were doubling Jimmy Butler, and they beat us because they had better role players. We shut down Jimmy Butler, but they beat us because they had better role players. But it was barely better role players because they shot threes. They still didn't shoot threes well, but they shot threes well in the bigger moments. Our team fell apart. The last game, really, Jalen Brunson did not play well, but we were still hitting shots. Like Deuce played well. There was a chance to win if Brunson was the Brunson that we know. So that game, even in our failure, and this game today, when he passed the ball, it kind of lets me know that we still can do certain things here with the teams that we have if we just play the right way. Today was a good example of that. 34 assists today. Dante DiVincenzo gives you 55% from three. Deuce only scored 12, but really helped us out in big moments in the third quarter. We can play team ball and still beat up some teams. I still feel like the Celtics will still be the team that we have the most trouble with, just because of it'll be harder to stop them on the other end because of their size. But I think other teams for sure we can definitely steamroll some other teams. But once we have OG back, it might get a little closer. It might, and it really depends on what OG is doing when he gets back for me.
I don't mean this to be a diss on Julius Randle, but I actually think we're a better matchup for Boston without him. I know that might sound like slander, and I mean that defensively, obviously not offensively. We're missing a 20-point per game scorer who gives you decent splits. But what I mean by that is we can close games with Precious and OG together on Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. And I trust defense from Precious and OG on those two more so than I do from Julius Randle. Now, offensively, I wouldn't want this situation. I would prefer to have Randle and live with the potential missed cues or lazy defense. But defensively, I think we match up better now with the current rotation that doesn't have Randle opposed to before.
And Boston's biggest matchup is Boston. Them babies got to get out their own head. Tatum and Jalen Brown tend to disappear when the pressure comes. So, that's why I always say that with matchups, you never know what can happen because sports are unpredictable and people's mentality when it becomes pressure situations sometimes can waver depending on the player. Everybody's not meant for the big moments and can get in their own head. So I always think teams have a shot because of that.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys something because I was watching Ian Begley's show, The Putback, and they were talking about a few things. But one thing that stuck out to me was they started to talk about the future. I already know how you guys feel about the future. But they started talking about star moving and star shopping and oddly enough, I hate the timing of this. I definitely would like Julius Randle back. But I'm wondering if this could be one of those weird blessing in the sky things again. Because I'm not gonna lie. Like, we all know the Knicks wanted to get a start this summer. For me, the way I saw this team play in January, I was like, yo, I want to see this. I want to see this through. Like, I want to see what happens with this full squad for a full year without crazy rumors and stuff. I want to see what this team does. With Julius Randle injured now, I'm not sure if we can even trade for a star right now if we wanted to, because I feel like whatever star we had to go after had to include Julius Randle, in my opinion. So I don't know what you got. I feel like this might be one of those blessing in the sky things once again, where it might have to force the front office to pump the brakes a little bit on trading for a star, because you're not gonna be able to trade a star with Julius Randle's shoulder like that, in my mind anyway.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because that was near the question that I was going to ask, and I was kind of like holding off on it, and you pretty much brought it up, Jay, because I was, but I was gonna phrase it a little bit differently though, because we know that if you look at Brunson and Randle's contract, they're both signed through the 24-25 season, and then after as a player option for both of them. So potentially speaking, both of them could opt out after next season and enter free agency and either, or I don't know, but the Brunson says that he's open to talks about an extension in the summer. So say, for example, the Knicks are going to extend Brunson in the summer. And then say, for example, because they have to pay OG. Now, OG, I don't know if he's going to opt in or he's going to opt out for more money. I'm not really sure.
He's going to opt out.
The injuries, I'm not sure, but more than likely he's going to opt out, and they're going to have to sign him again as well. The first apron, second apron is looming. So now the Knicks, you're in a position where it's like, okay, you have to make a decision on your roster, because after this season is over and it goes into next season, it's going to become even more difficult, especially if you enter that first apron, second apron, and make moves. And this is why I think, although you say Randle's injury is a blessing in disguise, I kind of look at it as maybe it's not a blessing in disguise, because I feel like these players were essential to see how Randle would perform with this lineup and seeing how they would do as a team. Because I think you would get a better gauge of how the team is currently constructed at the moment, and if you can actually make a run with this team or not. But now
You don't know.
you
Yeah.
don't know, because you did see them play together in the regular season, and they had a great record together, but now you're not sure because you're like, damn, we didn't get to see these guys in the playoffs together. So now you have to make business decisions, because I like Randall. I'm not saying that, the Knicks should move on from him, but I'm like, if you're the Knicks organization, are you going to risk re-signing Julius Randle? Or are you going to be like, you know what? Let's try to keep some flexibility. And you might be open to maybe moving him in the offseason. Although, like you said, the shoulder injury is going to make that really difficult. So, but I'm just saying that if you're the Knicks, like, do you at least consider it? Where you're like, let's see what's out there, at least explore the market a bit. Or are you going to be all in and be like, you know what? Re-sign Brunson, re-sign OG, re-sign Randle, and just go for it.
It's rough, man. Like this was the best Julie. Like I was talking to Ebony about the last post game. The game he went down was probably one of the best Randall games I've seen. And on both, I've been complaining about how he processes. I kept making he processes the game slow. He doesn't pass well at the double team all the time. He was a passing savant that game. There was double team coming from behind him. It's like he had eyes in the back of his head. He was giving the people in the correct spots almost every single time. The 3-point ball was coming along. This season, he was shooting 47% from the field, 37% from three. The three ball was going. Like, this was his best season to me before he got injured. And I really wanted to see that in the playoffs. And then, like, the chemistry between him and Brunson this season was growing to the point where he was getting Brunson open shots. You see the shot diet of Brunson's threes when Randle's not in the game. Brunson's threes has gone down as a result of Julius Randle not being in the game. So like I want to see what happens when these guys stay together. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I want to see what happens. I don't want to. It sucks that it happened. I don't want to move him, and I feel like somebody asks why would the front office is not thinking that. I think because the front office has been thinking big star for years. That's been their move. They have all these picks to trade for somebody. We don't even have the cap space to draft everybody that we have. That every pick that we have. I don't think, and then re-sign everybody. So I think that's absolutely what they're thinking. And I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I want to find a way to keep him here, and hopefully I'm hoping they're of the mind that they want to keep him here long term or see what we have before we make a move. But I know we're running against the clock because we have to re-sign Jalen Brunson, and once we re-sign Jalen Brunson for a high number, that's pretty much it. Like, no more moves really because of the apron. So,
yeah, and my thinking is that I'm so sorry to cut you off, Ebony, just to finish my thought. And because my thinking is that, say for example, OG comes back, right? And say the Knicks make a run with OG, at least to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like seeing that, I do think that the Knicks may have to, have some second thoughts, especially if the Knicks perform well with just the lineup the way it is without Julius Randle in it, whether they want to keep Julius Randle or whether they want to try to move on from him. That's my thought process about it. But overall, like, I did like what I saw with Julius Randle, OG, and those guys healthy on this Knicks squad. Like, I do want to see it through. I'm just saying that I do think that if that's what happens in the playoffs, it might give the front office something to think about going into the offseason.
Yeah, I think I understand with the blessing in disguise comment, because had Julius not had a good playoffs, then they might have made panic moves. Maybe we don't know. We don't know. So right now, it's just like we don't know because we can't see it. Like, and we need to see it before you make, I think, definite moves. And again, with the new apron, I don't think that maybe it's another star. They might really be trying to yap up, to grab up. They might try to get another OG type of player, on a
Like it's
lesser
Paul George,
scale.
maybe, yo. Like I
On,
feel like they might go
on,
after Paul George, yo.
they might go after Paul George, and again, he's at the end of his career. I guess it's dwindling down. He's still putting up good numbers, but what's important to you at the end of your career? For most people, is winning that championship. So, do you get people to take less in the scheme of, you see that this team can be a contender? It has enough to sustain. So we never know in that aspect about what makes players go. So you never know the extension with JB. Who knows if he gives us a little discount. We've seen that the front office does pretty well with our contracts and getting players to take reasonable contracts for the better of the team.
Right.
Maybe that continues. And again, we never know who's available, but just the fact that we have we have pieces to get us in those type of conversation is always good. I like the front office for not putting all of our eggs in one basket and not having to just be desperate. We don't have to be desperate.
I might be in the minority here, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to be on an island by myself. I know how I feel about Julius Randle. I do not want to trade him. I do not want to move him this summer. I want to re-sign him. I
You're
want to
not
win the
on by
championship.
yourself.
Okay. Well, I want to win the championship with him on the roster. I don't think there's a star that's worth swapping him for. A Paul George swap to me is a downgrade. I think Julius Randle fully healthy. We've seen him acclimate his game more than ever this season to make Jalen Brunson the focal point. And I love it when he's locked in as a playmaker. In the second half of the season before he went down, he was becoming a really, really good passer. And I always thought he could be, but he hadn't fully engaged in yet. So I also love his personality, and I think the front office is committed to him. I don't think they're going to move off him. I think they see him as a cornerstone. I don't think there's any real possibility that they move him. I do think there's a possibility now he takes a little bit of a discount himself in the extension, and I think he should, because of not only the injuries that he's had this season and last, but his poor playoff performance. So far, it's okay to say this, he's been a bum in the playoffs. He's played consistently worse when the lights are the brightest in MSG, especially at home, which is very concerning. But I do think he has it in him to be the player that we need him to be in the postseason in order for us to win a championship.
Right. And that's why, again, I've never been the biggest Randle fan, but I'm not I would call myself a Randle hater. I understand. I seen what he was doing this year, and remember I said I have to see the season in this whole before I really start giving him apologies, because I did that already once before. I explained that. But when you think about just his skill set and what he brings to the team, it's hard to find somebody else
Yeah.
who can do that. It's hard to find somebody who's as strong as he is and commands double team, because if not, he's going to destroy you every play. He has the ability to destroy you every play on the offensive end in that mid-range area. And then, when he's hitting his 3-pointers, it's like sky's the limit. You unstoppable. He's unstoppable. So when you think about that aspect, who would you get to replace that? It's not many people I can think of that does that have that skill set. And that skill set is what makes this team difficult next to Brunson, because now you have two people like that who command double teams, and they command double teams in different ways. I would like to see this team as a whole for a whole season, definitely. And maybe, like I mentioned before, we draft somebody. We can take a high risk on somebody and develop them like that, because I know people are not hyped on this year's draft. I get it. But maybe you could find that gem, that diamond in the rough.
Yeah. And I hope people don't mistake my question for me saying I want to move Randle. It's actually quite the opposite. It's I want to keep him, and what I really was saying was the injury might force us to keep him, is what I'm really saying. Instead of the front office going, we're moving him no matter what, because he's injured. it's going to be harder to move an injured player than to keep him. So I feel like we might be forced to keep him, which to my eyes might be a good thing. Is what I'm really saying.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify myself that I am for keeping Julius Randle. For me, it was more so just business and a think tank. Like, you know, if the Knicks are in that situation, like, what would you do? That's pretty much. But I'm for keeping Randle.
I think if he was to be moved, it would be for a player that we might not be thinking about. I think it would, if Leon was willing to give up that cornerstone, it's going to be a CAA former client, someone like Devin Booker or even Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
I think all of us are in agreement. No to Cat. Book, if that happened, I'm not mad about it, but I prefer to win this championship with Julius Randle on the roster, as we all do, it seems.
I like Booker, but his softness sometimes drives me nuts. So on my team, I don't know. You know, I like Booker, but I don't know. You gotta get that. You gotta get that toughness. And Mr. Rodney, I see you. Some teams do that. When I mean by high risk, I mean I think of Michael Porter and what Denver did. You know, they were in a hunt for playoffs and contention themselves, and they were able to just, you know, allow him to sit and be injured and learn. And it wound up happening, you know, working out for them. So that's what I mean by, I know that the Knicks are not known for the, you know, especially Tibbs right now is trying to develop people. But if you can scoop or somebody that's of a 3-and-D nature in that draft, that would definitely be a win for this team.
I don't know. I think the Knicks do a hell of a job developing. I think all the young guys that we've had or currently have gotten better year over year. I haven't seen the jump I've wanted from Sims this year, but he also hasn't played the type of minutes that could allow him to show off what he might have added to his bag. But I don't know how y'all feel. I think we should use these 2 picks. I think we're projected to have 2 picks between 18 and 24, and there's going to be some talent there. That's Walt Perrin's specialty is 18 to 25.
The late round drafts, facts.
Yeah, let's get 2 of those guys, grab a 4, grab a 3, at least be over 6-7, and let's start developing him through the G League and through our player development program, and give him spot minutes from time to time during the regular season. And if we end up losing Julius or we trade OG or whatever end up happening in the future, now we start giving him a larger role in the offense 2-3 years from now.
I think we're going to go after a veteran 3-and-D wing.
Yeah, and also I think with the way the Knicks are, the way the roster is set up at the moment, I do think the Knicks can probably afford to take a chance on a player that drops down the draft and he might be available at the 18-24, like a player that has a high ceiling, but for whatever reason they drop down in the draft, and you know, Knicks
injury.
The Knicks have a chance to like take a chance on that type of player to see how it would pan out. But I don't know, man, because 2024, they're not talking too great about this upcoming draft. I mean, to take State's line, I mean, they're talking like this is going to be a civil rights draft this 2024 season. Like, they're saying it's not a good draft, so I don't know. The Knicks might trade those picks. I'm not even sure.
Facts. And with I guess that this is I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this. I guess that Fritz, if you're listening, if we get rid of because it's in the writing already, AB to sign with Clutch. It's in the writing. He might as well have told us to kiss his behind. That's what he might as well have said. But he signed with Clutch, so you already know it's deuces.
Wait, we made up with Clutch. That's our guy now. That's our guy.
Yeah, I believe that when I see it.
Rich, buddy. That's not our guy.
I believe that when I see it. But if he comes off the books, is that enough for us to be able to grab not a superstar caliber, all-star caliber, but a legit 3-and-D vet wing if they come available? And do we have can we even be in the talks with that with a player once he comes off the book, or it just doesn't matter because we have to pay other people? That is my question. So Fritz or anybody on the panel, if y'all know.
I don't even see Fritz in a good score like usual. But I guess if you want to, Fritz, you can hop in. Oh, I didn't even shout. We got the conversation was so good. I didn't even shout out the chat. My bad, chat. I've been neglecting y'all. I was in the zone. Also, too, I was low key scared to touch my computer because I didn't want anything to freeze. So
I know I see my big sis in the chat. Shout out Queen P. Appreciate you for coming through.
Yeah, shout out to the chat. Hold on.
Love Queen P.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Picks for Timmy. Shout out to Jarvis, the Fleur. Shout out to Knicks Nation TV. Shout out to my boy Rodney Sen. That's my boy in real life. Shout out to you. Shout out to Felicia G. We served 100 people. Martin Smith. Y'all in here deep. Everybody rocking with the show. If you like the show, hit that like and subscribe. We're here after every game talking Knicks basketball. Win, lose, or draw, we're here talking Knicks basketball. Shout out to VSN Queen too as well. And super chats are always welcome. It helps keep the lights on. Helps it just helps us pay for the things that we pay for to keep things going. So I salute. I appreciate everything. I appreciate everyone that supports. And if you're not gonna do that, just hit that like and subscribe into. Also, I think I saw Jigga was in the chat earlier too, right? Shout out to Jigga.
Yeah, Jigga.
Let's go.
Yeah, shout out to Jigga, man. Morning Brew Crew, shout out to you. Y'all killing out there. Salute to you guys, man. You do a great job. I saw somebody say, Jay Ellis, do you think we would trade our picks for future picks? I can definitely see us doing that too.
Me too.
Yeah.
We've done that a few times where we kick the can down the road to buy some more times. I can definitely see us doing it this year as well. That's been a move we've done before. I can definitely see us doing it again. And then just getting some 58th pick and drafting another project so we don't have to pay them $1 million, but we only have to pay them like what are those picks worth? Like $300K or something like that.
Yeah, so basically, in other words, we're gonna draft some random player from Croatia and let him develop over there in Europe.
Exactly. Get somebody from overseas or get somebody you can put in the G League and do it that way. And that's the way we've been doing it for the last few years.
Wow. I don't know if that's what Sacramento did, because what's his name? I got a cough. He got my attention. I don't remember his name. I was calling him I got a cough.
Yeah, I know you.
The Euro white guy.
Yeah,
he came in there, instant impact. Every
Yeah.
time he got
Nice
floor,
fitting.
it was instant offense. I was
Let
like,
my
okay.
dude Bojan in the
like-
corner. I was like, whoa.
Yo, I was wondering. I was like, yo, the last time we played the Kings, this dude they play. I'm like, when did this guy start playing for the Kings? Like, where did this guy come from? I was like, yo.
Just
They
like
put him
us,
in
next
fans.
man up.
Facts. Oh, and that's another thing we forget about. We got Rokus. We got Rokus. I'm not even going to attempt the last name. We got Rokus in the stash.
Yo, we got Rokus in the
stashaway.
stash. He wants to come. He wants to come back to America. He's supposed to be here for summer league. He wants to be in the NBA. He did really well. He did really well in FIBA last year. I think he averaged like 50% from three on like 49% shooting or something crazy. 12 points. Can really pass the ball. Yeah, I'll be excited to see him play some league guard as well. But I mean, he might take some minutes away from McBride. Maybe do a combo thing. Who knows? We've gone small from the backcourt before. So
yeah, I see a combo. I can see because McBride can play off ball. So I definitely see a combo of him and Rokus and that the bench unit be a possibility.
Speaking of Rokus Jokic, I want to give some flowers to Leon Rose, man. That trade, he got Rokus, Sims, and Deuce McBride, our new starting two guard, one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA, for bum-ass Jeremiah Robinson Earl, man. That guy doesn't even play for the Thunder anymore. My man Leon Rose fleeced Sam Presti. Let it be known, baby. Leon Rose fleeced him.
Facts.
I know you're a reason about to like that. Right about that next.
Isn't
Sam
Rokus a
Presti
big guard too?
fleeced. Why he's overrated?
I love pissing off those farmers, man. It's fun.
You're so stupid.
We are farmers.
Man,
Is Rokus a big guard? He's a big guard, right? He's like 6'4", 6'5"-ish.
6'4".
All right, yeah, definitely. I can see that next to McBride.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, cool. So there's only one thing I want to touch on before we go, and that is new news about OG Anunoby. The latest news about OG Anunoby is that he's been taking some contact, I believe. He's been playing 5-on-5. And I think Tibbs said he is cautiously optimistic about OG's return. Now, here's the thing. Knicks be lying, all right? Knicks be lying because Julius Randle said today, he said he re-injured himself 5 weeks ago. There was some confusion about whether it was contact or non-contact. It was cleared up that it was padded contact. Still, he was re-injured 5 weeks ago. They did not report that. Everybody was wondering why he hasn't progressed. I think it's safe to say, man, the Knicks and the way they report injuries and stuff, you can't always believe everything those injury reports say. So they're saying they're being cautiously optimistic. I cautiously, optimistically believe them or don't believe them. I don't know. I guess the word might be more skeptical. I'm just skeptical of anything they say. Like, I hope they're telling the truth. That's where I'm at right now. Because
The only
huh?
No, the only reason, no, all I was gonna say, the only reason I'm a bit hopeful is just for the simple fact that I've listened to, like, I've read medical professionals on OG's injury, and from what they say, it doesn't seem like it's something that should keep OG out for the rest of the season. Like, they expect OG to come back, but what's concerning is that I was I think Lee shared it in the chat where one doctor made a comment about OG's injury, and he said that the fact that he had the surgery, recovered, and then came back 3 games in, and then he had inflammation, he's thinking as the kind of injury where it's like he's going to be able to come back, then play a few games, and then be out again. It's like it's going to be a reoccurring thing until offseason where he's able to like get the proper treatment and come back ready for next season. So OG's going to probably come back. It's just concerning. The concern is will he be able to stay in the lineup? That's the thing.
Yeah, we all know OG has missed a game or two because he had a hangnail. And he doesn't deal with pain well. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna just wait and see. That's all I can say. I'm just waiting and see.
I get it. Yeah, that's it. That's all you can. My personal I guess approach to the situation is to not think when they're coming back, or just I don't believe anything I hear when it comes to reports, because I don't think anybody's talking to anybody. I understand that this is a business. They got to play the chess games. I get it. You can't appease the fans when you're trying to win a championship in that aspect. You're more so thinking about what the other teams are thinking and
Keep
how
them
they're
off balance.
Yes, exactly. So I get it's not cool for us, yeah, we want to be in the know, but I understand it from a business aspect. And even with Randle, maybe the being hurt, they knew that it could possibly happen in the game, so they wanted to see the reaction first and see how he handled that first. And then once they realize, okay, it's not maybe getting better, and now it's you have to make a hard decision, no Diddy, because it's you either have him miss a lot of next season, or he doesn't play at all this season and still has to miss more of the season when they finally do realize that. So I understood the situation. It just sucks. Yeah, it does. But I get it.
Yeah. I read somewhere that Randall's was hurt so bad that his shoulder, when he re-aggravated his shoulder, it felt like when he first hurt it.
Mm.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, get that baby some relief.
Yeah, get him some rest. Get him some rest. Randall, we salute you. We know you went through a cooling process, try to get back to the game, and you tried so hard to return and you just couldn't do it. But we already know what we already know where your heart is. We already know you have a warrior spirit. You're the type of guy who don't quit. Hey, you come from the tree of Kobe, where you put in that work, and you definitely put in that work. So take your rest, man. Take your rest and be back 100% healthy next season so you can make another run at it, man. And if we face up against Miami, Lord, I want to smack that ass. I want to spank them so bad. I want to spank them so bad.
No,
That's all I got to say. All right. Let's get to it, man.
I'm sorry, Jamie gonna be Jamie until Randall come back. That's just it. It's gonna be Jamie Jaquez for the whole. When I say it, because that's what your name gonna be since you injured Randall.
Facts, yo.
Gee.
I can't stand it here, out. But let's get to it, man. It's time for that part of the show. It's the bruh picks. Bruh picks are usually the worst plays of the game. Sometimes not even this game. It could be any game, and sometimes not even a game. It can just be something stupid, something dumb, idiotic that you want to point out and say, this is stupid. This is dumb. This is idiotic. Like Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
We give a bruh every day just because he's breathing. All right.
Mm-hmm. Holly Rowe too.
Who?
Holly Rowe.
Holly Rowe.
And I leave the other one because he's making a real appearance today.
Okay. All right, let's go. Who wants to start off the festivities?
Well, y'all know me. I'm definitely unloading the clip. Last time on Easter Sunday when I was here, Jesus rose from the dead and he took my bro picks with me. But today I got my bro picks on deck. So
Ryan on his feet emptying the clip.
Yeah.
I'm emptying the clip tonight. First bro pick goes to a bro pick great.
Jordan Poole
of the Washington Wizards. The other night against the Milwaukee Bucks, my guy saw Giannis Antetokounmpo guarding him, so he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take him off the dribble. It's a big guy. I'm gonna take him off the dribble. I'm a guard. My guy went between the legs, pulled it back out, went between the legs again, crossed himself, fell on the ground, turnover.
That's funny. Can I find it?
Yeah, you definitely can because
Yeah.
it was a viral. That baby just shacked in the food bag.
Facts.
Oh man, I can't find it right now. All right, go to the next one.
My next broad pick goes to Knicks hater Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the Knicks have done to this guy, but whenever it comes to the Knicks, this man never has any positive things to say about the Knicks. Never in life. So they asked this man if the Knicks were to match up against the Magic in the playoffs. Now you see, if he said the Magic would win this series, I wouldn't even be all that mad. I understand. He played for the Magic. They retired your jersey the other day. You feel indebted to them. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to just be on the Magic train and be like, they're going to win the series. But no, not only did he say the Magic were going to win the series, he said that the Magic would sweep the Knicks. Like, oh, God.
Levels to this, Shaq. You should know that.
Shaq and the fool. That's crazy. A team with Jalen Brunson on is not getting swept. I'm sorry.
Fact.
And the Magic, how many playoffs have they been in the last 10 years?
0.
Oh, that's right, 0. There's no way they're sweeping us. No way. We're winning that series. I'm sorry.
They can't shoot.
Facts, and I mean, and also he forgot to factor in that if the Knicks go against the Magic, that's essentially 7 Knicks home games because that's M&G South.
And let's just not forget, even if OG does not come back, we have the Pablo stopper in Precious Achua. All right. I'm just saying. Did you see what he did to him the last game he played? He had a long night. He's still on this team, damn it. So yeah, Magic don't want us.
Facts. Next broad pick. He gets a daily broad pick, but he gets a broad pick tonight too. Paul Pierce, because I don't know what's wrong with this guy. This guy always says some really dumb, idiotic things, and I just be wondering what goes through his head. I don't know what goes through his mind when he says these things, but on Undisputed, which the show is flopping because Uncle Shay moved over to First Take, and since then Undisputed has not been the same. So Skip's bringing in a bunch of ESPN rejects and things of that nature to try to write the show, and it's not working. But he has Paul Pierce on the show, and they had him talking about Iowa versus LSU, and this was his whole game breakdown. White girl pulled up to a team of black women, and beat him. And because of that, I respect him. And this dude had no type of intelligent remark to make about the game or any intelligent observation or anything like that. He just put it down to the point that a white girl went up against a black team and beat a black team. And he's like, dog, you don't even watch women's basketball because you know how many nice white girls are in women's basketball? Like, it doesn't even apply the same to men's basketball. Like, and then on top of that, it's like, yo, watch the damn game. Like, yo, if he at least said something like, you know, LSU had Haley on Caitlin Clark and she couldn't hold her because, you know, she's smaller in size and she was sick. She was sick before the game as well as, you know, they should have put Flaw J on.
Like real analysis.
Clark, like at least
like
provide some type of analysis to show that you watch the game rather than just narrowing it down to, yeah, white girl pulled up to a black girl team and beat them. Like, come on, dog. Like, come on.
Yeah, Ebony W talked about that last time.
Yeah, I had to go in on his stupidity. So
that's all right. We circling the block.
Yeah, we circling the block up.
And all the casuals.
Yeah.
And speaking of casuals, I mean, I'm surprised because this dude actually played in the NBA, but clearly he sounded like a casual with his takes lately. Gilbert Arenas.
What? Gilbert Arenas is on here?
Surprising, right? So he's on Uncle Shay's podcast, you know, and this dude actually had the nerve to say that Nikola Jokic is the worst MVP winner in the last.
Oh, I did see that.
And I'm like, dog, I mean, do you see Jokic's stats? Like, this dude is a legit big man, 7 foot tall. And this dude is putting up freaking triple doubles. And it's not even points, rebounds, and blocks. It's points, rebounds, and assists. As a freaking big man, you're saying that this dude is the worst MVP winner in the last 40 years?
He's just clickbaiting. He's trolling, yo. He just be trolling.
He got to be.
I don't take that dude seriously anymore. He just be trolling.
Definitely not. Definitely not. My next broad pick, I got to give it to young guy on the Rockets, Terry Eason, because come on, my guy.
Warriors.
Trash talk 101. If you're not playing in the game, keep your mouth shut. Because if you're trash talking and you're not on the court, you're not able to back that up. And now you put more pressure on your teammates to have to back up your trash talk.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight's game against the Warriors and the Rockets, this guy pulls up to the game in a Warriors come out to play shirt. And yeah, the Warriors did come out to play. Smacked the Rockets' ass 133 to 110.
Great movie.
Great.
Facts. And my last broad pick, I'm not even sure this is a broad pick for real. I mean, it might be too much information. It might not be. I don't know. But, okay, so the Roommates podcast, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, they had guest hosts. They had guest star Ocho Cinco on the podcast.
Oh my God. I already know what you're going to say.
and my guy Ocho Cinco was basically giving away. He was basically giving away the trick to being able to play for an extended period of time, you know, during the game where you're not getting tired. And my guy Ocho Cinco said before every game, he took half of Viagra so he could play and just have straight energy throughout the whole game. Because if you know, Viagra increases blood flow. It increases blood flow to a certain area, but my man was saying it just increases blood flow in general. And that helps you to play for extended minutes without getting tired.
Wild.
So hard to do.
Yeah, TMI. Some things, some secrets you should just, leave it as secrets. Some of your remedies should just be that, your remedy.
He said he did that too. I mean,
Yeah, he said.
but I mean, they have a
before
jock strap, so they have like the big metal, the barrier. You playing ball like
Yeah,
you can't be.
I heard his story
Somebody post you
about
up, and you can't have a Diddy, man.
his pregame. No,
Did.
he didn't. From one of the other interviews I heard from him, he doesn't just leave it that way. He was talking about it so much so that somebody said, "Yo, I shook your hands before games." If you get what I'm saying.
Oh, damn.
Bruh.
Yo.
Oh, he was really trying to convince him, like, yeah, just take a half. I'm not.
That sounds like a personal remedy for him. I'm glad it got him a Hall of Fame career, I guess. But yeah.
I mean, listen, Josh Hart did have a lot of energy.
Man,
you did say before we started the show that he looked different. You did.
Oh, man. Don't tell me my guy take a half Viagra before taking out. Oh man.
He looked different. He looked energized. He had a sprained wrist. And he had more energy than he had versus Miami. I'm just saying.
But you finished with your bro picks?
Yeah. I finished unloading the clip. I'm good now. I'm good.
You loading the clip? All right. I guess I got a little clip. I got a little something.
Okay.
Let me see. I got, of course, not my man. I'm sorry. Well, I don't know why I said that. This guy, Bam, you already know he's playing. Miami is playing Philadelphia, who just came back from a injury in Philadelphia.
Joel Embiid.
Well, he came back from a knee injury, so it's just very coincidental. Guess who landed on Joel Embiid's leg today? His knee. Oh, guess who? Bam. And I got I'm not even gonna say what the initials for Bam in my eyes mean, because I don't be cursing on air. There we go. You already know. That is my acronym for Bam. Yeah, dirty. It's just coincidental, right? Everybody.
It's a lot of coincidentals. So my boy's a Heat fan. He's like incidental. He's like, oh, that's incidental content. There's a lot of incidents.
Yeah, fact. So yeah, that's the Bam. So you know what I'm calling you Bam for, not because of your name. But there you go. Yeah. Those laughing at the Randle injury definitely got to get the bro pick.
I'm glad I'm not on part of Twitter that's laughing at the Randle.
Yeah,
that would have set me off.
Like captain of the goof troop mentality, bro. All that. That's what you get. Cause at the end of the day, if you're a Knicks fan, how do you root? You're happy that somebody that's 20, 26, 24, what was it, 24 and about 10?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Are you happy that you're missing that? And if it's your team, that's your player on your team. How do you root for that kind of action? So I want to ask those people, are you a fan of the Knicks or of your narratives? Like, are you a fan of is it more important your ego or your team winning the championship? Like, I wasn't happy about the trade with the Detroit Pistons, but I need them to do well. I want them to do well. They have to do well for me. Please, Bogey and Birch, please. If you can hear me. That's just it, because you want the betterment of your team. Like, you just want the best for your team. You've been rocking with them for a long time. I don't care if Mitch didn't come back. I still want a chip. I don't say I don't want a chip because Mitch is not here. No, right. I want a chip.
Yeah.
So y'all y'all the bros of the day. You get what I'm saying? That's
the whose man's is this for real. That's the whose man's is this.
Okay, here you go.
Whose man's is that? Y'all laughing at Randle getting injured. That's a whose man's is that.
Yeah, and then And to make it funny though, there was one person on Knicks Twitter where they laughed at Randle's injury and didn't have the balls to stick by it and deleted his tweet. And I'm like, yo, if you're gonna do some dumb ish like that, stand by it. Don't back down. Don't delete your damn tweet. Stand by it.
Mhm. Facts. Just stand by. You said it, we saw it. It's people got screenshots anyway.
Yep.
Like y'all be deleting stuff, people quick with that. Real quick. Real quick. So it is what it is, and the ops that's celebrating, and that only shows that we got you worried, and that's terrible energy too. Like what's happening to the fans of the sport that I love is giving real soft mentality to root against another person's injury. You never wish for somebody to get hurt, and you do want to play. You want to play a team when they're at their best, so there is no excuses. You get what I'm saying? So that's real calm. Where you at? I got 2 coins. I said this is Gilbert. I found another coin. Gilbert and Paul together, right?
Yep.
But today we need the can of corn. We need the can because there was a lot of laughing at injuries, and it's just like goof. That's just crazy to me. That is crazy. So it shows that you got no competitive spirit as the opposing fans rooting for that, and y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah.
And my last bro pick has to go to Emmanuel Ochu. I don't even care if I said your name right. Just you. You know what I'm saying? You a goof. A supreme. You know, the kind of person that, wants to be the smartest person in the room and they make themselves look stupid. That is him. That is him. He had some comments that I mentioned on last. He was my last bro pick, so he might be trending towards getting another permanent spot in the bro picks because it's becoming a trend. He said some things about Angel Reese that was way off, considering that she was asked a question. Again, if a reporter asks you a question, you're going to answer it. She didn't. The whole time she's played, she's never said that she was the villain. She's not a self-proclaimed villain. People did that to her. She said she is going to embrace it. I'm not supposed to crumble because you calling me a villain. You get what I'm saying? So she said, I'm going to embrace it and do what I have to do as a basketball player. She didn't say I'm a self-proclaimed villain and then cry when they lost. No. First of all, you're going to cry. It's your last game in a college game. That's anybody. Sure. Anybody. That's a life-changing experience. That's anybody. You know what I'm saying? And then they asked her a question that was her answer to. Not that she's playing victim. They asked her a question. He is on bruh picks. Not for, again, he was that for last game. This one is because he makes a thank you video. Not an apology video, a thank you video to those who he mentioned multiple times, respectfully reprimanded him. Because he got a lot of people cooked him. He was barbecue chicken. They cooked him. He was barbecue chicken on the social media. So they cooked him. He said, thank you for those who respectfully reprimanded me and this and that. You could tell how you feel. I'll tell you how I feel. But thank you for respect for over and over. So I was very confused about exactly what that video was for because it wasn't an apology letter. It wasn't an apology video. That's what that should have been. I don't know what that was. You just like the sound of your voice. You like seeing yourself on screen. Like you're a goofy. Like Stop talking. Especially about race issues because you way off. Your struggles are not everybody else's struggles and vice versa. You're off. Stop discrediting people's trauma, please. And that's it. That's all I gotta say about him. I don't even want to be bro pick no more. I ain't talking about him no more. That's it. He don't even deserve it. He got a 3-second career. Think how you hide my almighty with a 3-second career? Somebody can name what team he played for. Because I can't.
Lee?
That's it. I'm good.
I just have one who pick. I really want to give a great shout out to my main man, Stephon Marbury. It was beautiful to see him back in Madison Square Garden. He was the first really good player I saw as a Knick because when I started watching Allen Houston was pretty much down for the count with the knee injuries. So I was watching Moochie Norris and Clarence Weatherspoon bum it up per usual. And then we traded for Marbury. And actually, Penny Hardaway was very good in that trade as well, especially in that 04 playoff series that we got swept in. But Marbury was magical. He had an unbelievable handle. I love his swag. I love his personality. He was very charismatic, and he was the best point guard we've had since before Brunson. There's a 20-year gap. So just to see him back in the Garden, see him squash his beef with Worldwide West, and to be there courtside, and also having seen Ewing and LJ and Mello and John Stark, some of those guys work with the organization, some don't. Marcus Camby. It's been really great seeing the Knicks guys over the years that got us through some very dark times. And Marbury was there during the darkest period in Knicks franchise history, which is right when I started watching. So I was happy to see him, healthy and smiling, because I know that what I talked about at the beginning of this episode, when he ate that Vaseline, his father had recently passed away, and he has admitted to being suicidal.
Oh man,
he was self-harming. He wanted to kill himself, and he thought about it multiple times. And people laugh at that video, and so I mentioned that video to come full circle. That now here he is thriving with a Chinese media empire, impacting Chinese basketball and being an ambassador for the United States and the inner city style of playing, and popularize that in China. I think he's a great human being. I'm so happy to have him back in MSG.
all right.
Fact. I got some ties to Steph. We went to same school, so we alumni of the same school, and yeah, I'm happy that he's doing better. He's being able to redeem his career after a traumatizing situation. I too have a ooh pick if anybody else doesn't have anything else to say.
I'm good.
Oh, I could do it. Okay. It's I give ESPN a lot of flack, so here I go. When people do well, I like to give flowers. So ESPN, shouts out to ESPN. I don't say that much, but shouts out to ESPN for hiring Aaliyah Boston on their women's coverage. That all lineup of Shanae, Andrea Carter, that they're very, very, it's very good to see them. Their chemistry and their knowledge of the game is on point. And to add another person with the knowledge and game, and it's part of WNBA, tell you about the experience she's going through right now as about to be a second-year player off of a crazy rookie of the year type of status, rookie of the year and made All-Star game. Like one of the first since I believe I'm not, don't quote me. I think it's since Candace Parker. Don't quote me. But
You quoted him.
yeah, I know people will anyway.
It sounds
Yeah,
right.
they getting people in there that know the game and know the history and haven't watched the game and started watching the game in the last couple of months is big, because there has been a lot of misinformation and wild takes coming from professional athletes, professional media about women's basketball, and it's kind of crazy that these are professional professional athletes with these type of takes. So I applaud ESPN. Thank you for getting us somebody in there that know what they're talking about.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. Like ESPN don't do it right all the time, but with the women's basketball coverage, yeah, they definitely got that on point, to be real about it.
That's what's up. All right. Good show, people. Good show. If you like that show, if you like the show, people, hit that like, subscribe. We have talking about Knicks basketball after every game. And we'll be back. We'll be back for the next game. Doubleheader tomorrow. We'll be back against the Chicago Bulls. Screw you, Alvin Silver. All right, freaking Knicks fan. Screw you. They set up this road trip where we go from Chicago to Milwaukee and then fly back to Chicago. Bruh, pick the Adam Silver.
Bruh. Big Knicks fan.
What? Like they are trying to set us up, guys.
And then to make it worse, I think the Bulls have either 2 or 3 days off before that game, while the Knicks have to play back to back and have to travel to Chicago.
Bruh.
Crazy. Super duper crazy. So buckle up, guys. Hopefully we do what we have to do and pull out this win tomorrow, because it's going to be a tough one after flying to Chicago tomorrow. All right. So Josh Hart, get your Viagra. Let's get it.
Yeah, I need
No
to see
Diddy.
that look. I need to see the look he had all the time for the rest of the season into the playoffs. It was just different.
That's a fact.
Well, so if you listen to Ocho, I don't need to know, but you do what works for you.
Exactly. Is that a cup? Are you happy to see me? Stop.
Oh, man.
All right, that's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Oh man, Lee, let them know they can find you, man.
Find me on Twitter at _Lee Escobedo, or searching that hashtag bum. See me fighting with Ariel, or see me fighting with Jay Ellis, or see me fighting with anyone in Knicks Twitter that I love debating with on a daily basis. Me and Jay Ellis actually haven't been debating. I haven't disagreed with anything he said in a long time. It's been
very
all
weird.
facts. I mean, yeah, it has been weird.
You have to find something to fight about. So,
I know. I've been like, damn, everything he's saying is on point. Like, I'm not going to try to. I don't have a book club recommendation today, but I did see an unbelievable TV show. Don't know if you guys are familiar with the comedian Gerard Carmichael. He's a black comedian. He used to have a show. He recently came out as gay, and he's won a couple of, I believe, Emmys for his stand-up specials. I find him very funny. He's got a very unique way of delivering. He just sits on stage and kind of talks about what's been going on in his life in a very hyper-personal, uncomfortable, cringy way, where he came up with a Truman Show style reality show, and cameras just following him as he does very uncomfortable things, like tell Tyler, the creator, that he's in love with him, and it kind of ruins their friendship in a way, and it's just this raw conversation, and both of them are really cringy and really awkward. But I'm a type of person, I like to remove myself from what I believe and what I feel and what I live, and hear different points of opinion. Sometimes I'll listen to Candace Owens, I'll listen to Young Turks, or Daily Wire, or The Breakfast Club, or the Jordan Peterson. I bounce around. I love different ideas and hearing different points of view. And Jared Carmichael, I'm recommending this show, but I must say it's an hour-long pause. It's no Diddy. It's one of the most gayest shows, blatantly super gay. So if that makes you uncomfortable, perhaps skip it. But what I love the most about it are the moments where he's talking about his mom, because his mom won't have anything to do with him right now because he's came out as gay, and she's very hyper religious and spiritual. She's of a Christian faith, as most African American moms are, and it has caused a huge clash between their ideologies and him living his life. So he's going through the show, and he's documenting what the absence of his mother is doing to him. And it's taking a great toll on him psychologically, because he's trying to live his real life, his true life, while also not having his mom in his life while he's discovering who he is. So there's a lot of that. There's some funny parts, there's some super gay parts, there's some cringy parts, but I think I haven't seen something on TV that's real and raw between a mother and son's relationship. I have a very difficult relationship with my own mom, so it kind of struck me in that way, just having a mom with mental illness. And it was a beautiful hour. I actually can't wait for the next hour. As gay and unbelievably cringy as it is, it's going to be lit. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life, actually, and maybe the best first episode I've ever seen of a TV show. So if you have the time and the audacity, and you don't mind seeing things that you might not agree with or make you uncomfortable, Gerard Carmichael, reality show, incredible.
Yeah. His actual his actual show, his sitcom show, was actually pretty funny.
It was
really funny.
Mom was based on his mom. He basically said that's how my mom is, and she was very spiritual and quoting the Bible all the time. So it kind of made sense. That's where I found out about him. I loved him, and then it kind of his comedy started becoming more personal and more intense, and more real to who he is. So yeah, it's been a wild ride.
All right. Salute. All right, Ebony, what you got?
You can find me here at post game. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Mad Knick Fan. I do Your Take Knicks every pregame, a Twitter space, and when Ballin' with the Queen comes, when the Liberty come season, I do Ballin' with the Queens as a post game after every Liberty on a game on Twitter.
All right. Salute. All right, Ryan G, let them know they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. You can also find me on Instagram at Sir G is Chillin'.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIR, G is CHILLIN.
My man.
All right. Yo, I be loving, I love on Twitter or on Instagram. There's this chick who just goes to the gym and just cooks dudes all day. It is like the
Yeah.
best thing I've ever seen in my life. It is amazing. It's like, this is the regular day at the gym, and then this happened. And then it's this girl like tights is cooking people. Or sometimes she just do some crazy stuff where she's just wearing like costumes and she's cooking people in costumes. It's the
Yes,
most.
'cause
What's her name? Angie. Yo,
Angie, I think Angie, something like of that
yeah,
nature.
it's
Yeah, she be
amazing. I'm
cooking
like, yo, why
people.
is she? I was like, she should be on pro because the way she be cooking dudes who are like 6 feet and 6'1", I'm just like,
That's what happens when you fundamentally sound. That's what
Let's
that gets
go.
you.
nah, her jump shot is so crazy because it's like really unorthodox. So she don't even really be fully set. It just be like flick, and it goes in. I'm like, yo,
Wherever your hand is at, she's moving like she got the Jokic shot almost. You know how
Mhm.
Jokic shoots and he move it away from your hand, but that's all he needs and it's good.
And
That's what she got.
then the most underrated part of the game is her passes are crazy. Her passes are crazy. Like man, I don't even know how this girl's not in the W herself. Like, this girl's crazy. All right. But yeah, check. I don't even know her name. Yeah, female professor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know Angie, whatever her name is. I don't mean to disrespect you. I just can't read. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, you find us at the KLT Show on Twitter, the Knick Of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick Of Time Show on Facebook. We also on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. All right. So thank you guys for watching. That's the show. And as always,
shout out the worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That's the show. We out of here.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.